Good afternoon, and welcome to the Spectrum Reach Live. We're here in the Sunshine State of Tampa Bay, Florida, and I'm your host, Montess, Burt. We're here giving you live coverage at the 2019 Small Business Breakfast and Seminar here at the Armature Works location, where we brought in keynote speaker Gerry O'Brion to share his insights on what big brands know about advertising for businesses like yours. As you're watching, be sure to let us know what some of your favorite advertising commercials that you've seen this year so far. Leave those in the comments and we'll be sure to read those out loud. Our guest this afternoon is an author who translates big brand strategies into knowledge that any business can use to win in the market. I like to call him marketing expert or the marketing guru himself. Welcome, Gerry O'Brion. Gerry, how are you?
Good, thank you for having me.
Good, thank you for being here. So your speech this morning, What Big Brands Know, resonated very well with the audience. What do you think the key takeaway for local businesses is?
You know, I always ask local businesses the same question. Tell me the answer to this. I would buy from you because, and I have them then say that back to people in the audience. You would buy from me because, and then they fill in the most compelling words they can think of. You would buy from me because, and the reason why that question is so important is because when someone gives a referral to your business, they literally say those words. Oh, you got to go down to Montess business because, and then they fill in the most compelling words they can think of to refer your business. The challenge is that when people answer that question for their own business, many times they say something that every other business just like them would say just the same. And the problem is what you say after the word because is the same as other plumbers, roofers, marketing companies, whatever you might be, you haven't given me a reason to choose your business. You've just made me more confused because you sound like everyone else. So the answer to I would buy from you because is the foundational element of influence of how we get people to buy from us versus them. The process that you use, the proof, the results, the things that you get that make me believe that your because is different than all the other businesses, that's the thing that gets me to pay attention to you and to buy from you.
So you talk about the processes and the because and the results. So if a business owner has expressed interest in TV and they're ready to get into advertising, what is the first step for them?
Well, first step for advertising. The biggest mistake that advertisers make when they make a TV commercial is the same thing. It's, hey, could you insert any other business that's like yours? Any other hair salon, any other sprinkler repair company, any other electrician, any other whatever your business. Could you insert any of those other competitors in your ad and it would be the same ad? Because if that's true, you haven't helped me choose you. Right. So we've got to do something unique. So the place you start is go and look at your customers, talk with your customers, get into their mindset. What do they want more of from businesses like yours? What do they want less of? I call that your insights. What's going on for them? What are their frustrations? What do they not like about the business they're currently working with? Oh man, my accountant does this. They never call me back. Oh, if you're an accounting firm, one of the things you can do is say, hey, we're really responsive. We get out in front of it. What is the thing, the insight of the customer? Get that and then determine what is the promise you're going to make. Hey, if you join us as an accounting firm, we will always do X. And you can trust us because, right? Yeah. So what are your insights? What's your promise that you're going to deliver? And what's the proof that you're going to deliver it? That's the great structure of an ad that sells versus sounds like everyone else's.
Right, that's good, that's good. So coming into the holidays, brands are doing any and everything that they can to reach their customers and to make sure that they're always top of the mind. So when we talk about TV commercials and we're always watching TV, what are some of your favorite advertising campaigns that you've seen so far?
You know, for me, favorite is the same as it works really hard to sell things, right? I like ads that sell things because that's the whole reason that we want to be on TV. There was a Wall Street Journal article maybe like 2 weeks ago about an ad campaign that worked so well, they got too many customers, right? And if you do your advertising right, this is what can happen. It can change the trajectory of your business. What was the ad campaign? You won't even believe it. It was for the state of Utah. It was put on by the Parks Department. A lot of people didn't know this. Utah has like 5 major national parks, and they're beautiful, right? So they ran an ad campaign saying, come visit Utah, come visit our parks. You know what they put in as their because? Pictures of their parks, which everyone goes, whoa, I've seen those. I didn't know that was in Utah. And you know what happened? People flooded to Utah. They more than doubled their number of visitors to the point where all the restaurant owners, the hotel people, all the people that run like the tourist industry were like, this is too much. It's too many, right? Which is kind of the problem that business owners would like to have, because that's a logistics problem. Marketing problems are hard. Logistics of I got too much business, that's a better problem to have. And so now they're dealing with, wow, we have so much demand because they have a powerful because. They've got beautiful places. People just didn't realize that they were there once you let people know. And that's what happens with a lot of businesses. They've got something amazing they're already doing, but nobody knows. You put that amazing thing that you do onto TV, and all of a sudden your business explodes. And I see it happen over and over and over again.
Wow. That's the impact of a solid creative message in the reach of television. So let's check out what some of the viewers are saying and seeing what some of their favorite advertising campaigns are. So let's see. I have one from a guy named Ralphie. One of my favorite campaigns was the Pepsi commercial with Cardi B. I thought that was a fun and awesome way to tie in her famous catchphrase into a commercial. I think she said, "Oh, grrr." What'd you think about that one? Did you see that one during the Super Bowl?
Well, so let's talk about celebrity advertising.
Yeah.
Now, most of us can't afford to hire her to do our ads.
Right.
But let's talk about what that means to us, right? She's someone that people trust and like, and so they're borrowing the fame, right? And that's why people put celebrities in their ads, because it's like, oh, if they have a relationship with someone that I love and trust and like, then I feel something about that brand. So most of us have to do it without, because we can't afford celebrity. We might be able to afford Montess though, but you might be able to be in there.
Right.
But how do we then generate that trust and like? Sometimes people do it through their own personalities. You've seen ads on TV for plumbers, and you see the plumber or the auto guy. So what's your brand? And are you trusted and liked? And what's your phrase, right? So how do we take that same idea and apply it to our own businesses?
Right. Let's see. Keisha from Florida says, I like the Huggies commercial, the second kid commercial about the second kid. Have you had a chance to see that one yet?
No. Okay. Well, I know it. No, I do know what it is. And we should get Kaz's opinion on this stuff too, because Kaz is the next one. So here's the deal with the Huggies commercial. First kid, you know what you get? Pampers. Because they're expensive, and they're like they're real good ones. Huggies, I'm a second kid. You get a second kid, you get like the one that's a little, now the insight is, I'm gonna be a smarter parent. I don't have to spend the most money. I can get pretty good and save a little money and maybe go to Disney World or whatever I'm gonna do with my extra money, right? Because this one's a little less expensive. So Huggies positioning in your mind is a little less but pretty good, and it makes you feel smarter, right? So you got the insights about how families think about themselves as they get to be more experienced parents. You're smarter because second kid, you're going to do this and you're going to do something else with your money, right? Insights, right?
Exactly.
Well, and Monty, those of us with 4 kids, when you get to the 4th one, you just wrap them in a paper towel and call it a day, right? So Bounty might actually have an angle to work in there.
So now that we're at Cas, speaking of the impact of TV advertising and what that all entails, someone who knows a lot about that topic is Spectrum Reach's very own VP of Field Marketing, Mr. Caswell Huff. So Cas, thank you for joining us.
Oh, sure, enjoying it.
So now that we're talking about the best TV ad campaigns, what are some of your favorites that you've seen this year?
Yeah, well, I'm one of those weird guys that eat it up on TV, right? I'll rewind a commercial and look at it sometimes, which drives the family crazy. It's interesting as Gerry talks about differentiation, right, and what's important to the consumer, and as competition increases, I mean, what we talked about here today with these businesses was becoming the #1 choice in the marketplace. And it's interesting to watch it because I think about total campaigns across industries. You think about the auto industry, right? I can think of one with the fold-out tailgate that they show that resonates because it's solving a problem very clearly that people have with the existing truck design. Buick stands out, right, as they're trying to rebrand from an older demographic and make people aware, right? And I think they have the clever tagline about the Buick. Food, I'm always interested in what goes on there. Chick-fil-A, I've noticed, is getting really aggressive with continuing their brand of kind of comfort and trust and friendship that they have. But probably insurance, right, is the category that you really see. I was in St. Louis a couple weeks ago, and one of the group there said, "Hey, I won a Halloween contest dressed as Flo." Right?
Wow.
You know your message is resonating when people are dressing up as your commercial, right, to go out on Halloween night. But you have Mayhem that plays. We can show the Geico Gecko, and everybody knows it. So what I like is everybody is trying to find a slot, a message that resonates, and why would I have you choose me? And so whether it's cost, whether it's trust, whether it's reliability, there's so many good campaigns right now because it's so competitive. And as Gerry said, it's got to sell. You can't just put something out there that they can't differentiate. And I think companies are doing it better and better because of the environment right now.
Now, guys, this morning we had over 70 people attend this event from local business owners to learn about building their brand through marketing. When you're looking at an advertising mix, do you see that TV drives consumer actions?
Yeah, I mean, there is no doubt, and that's one of the questions you get. Television is changing and media habits are changing. It's just a reality. But television evolves with it. It's television you can take with you. And one of the things that we actually shared with the audience today that seemed to resonate is, over the weekend, the top brands of 2019 came out. And it talked about how much they spent and what percentage of that was on television, right? When you see your top 10 brands averaging 75 to 80% of their media spend on television, it shows. And then also when you show Captain Obvious, when you show Peloton bikes, when you show those pieces and everybody in the audience, regardless of age, is aware of them, right? When you say Aflac and they know the duck comes to mind, that's the power of television today. Because where we started with messages like Wendy's and where's the beef and the Big Mac ingredients from years ago, and everybody gets it, but they go, yeah, but it's different today. But then when you bring it in and you give case studies and examples, it resonates. And I think the important message around television is they're spending a lot, right? It's tough to build a national brand and have it really stand out. But there's a lot of opportunities now with technology, with the right creative messaging. As Gerry says, with finding your specific reason that people should select you, and then you start to build it closer, more proximate to where your business is, where your key customers come from, and expand it out. That's how television works, and it makes anything else that you do that much stronger because it builds that trust. And speaking of the Cardi B, I would, Montess, before we finish this, I do want to make sure you make that sound one more time that you made. It was very impressive. Yes, very good.
Yeah. So when we talk about, for a first-time advertiser, or a small business owner, TV advertising may feel out of reach. And that's the inspiration of the all-new ad portal, is to give small businesses access to the same television advertising resources as larger brands so that they can be in the same effect and be able to reach their customers effectively. Can you share a little bit with us about ad portal and the impact that it will have there?
Yeah, we are so excited about it. It's new. It's the first time. Gerry looked at it on his own, kind of outside before we start this. He goes, I can't believe that this is available. Customers can actually go in, they can create their own schedule, they can work with their budget, see what they'll get on television, what networks they get, what the return will be, create their own spot, and then have tracking that shows you how it's delivering. And that's where it is. And so I think the possibility that you can go in, log in from the comfort of your home after you finish the day. We understand that a lot of these small business owners didn't get into their business to market. They got into their business to do their business. But marketing is a part of any business growing and competing and winning out in the environment. So what we think the portal does is they can do it on their own schedule, in their own comfort, and we see a lot of traffic in the afternoons and the evenings and over the weekend when they can log in and kind of look and see it, and then they can start to use around their creative messaging some of the tips and tricks and tools that we have available that speakers like Gerry, like some of our partners that we work with, like our Colonel group helps to give out into the business community. Build the right message, right around your business, place it inside of a budget that works for you to get started, and then you expand as you start to learn more and more about what's happening.
Wow, it's such a, talk about innovation and the constant growth. That's such a unique tool, and I'm excited to hear the success from it. Gerry, what advice would you give to someone who is small business. They've never done TV, they've never done advertising, and they want to get into it. What advice would you give to them?
Well, it is really, Kaz was not joking around. I'm amazed at what you can do today using the ad portal, a digital mechanism. It used to be that one of the benefits of being a billion-dollar brand was that we could go and spend $100 million on TV all over the country, and if you're a small business, you can't do that because you don't have the resources to make the ad. You don't have the resources to buy the big media budget. You don't have the. Today, with a credit card, you can go right online, look right around your business, hone in, create it's leveling the playing field in a really remarkable way for small business owners who can compete like a big business. Because you don't necessarily need to get people to watch your ad in Portland if you're in Florida.
Right.
Who you need to get is the people that are down the street or down the block or over the next place over. You want to be the #1 brand right here with the people that have the money that are going to give it to you. So my advice would be, here's the deal. Today, you need to be using video in your marketing mix. TV ads are great. And the reason why, one of the reasons why TV ads are great is it forces you to hone down on what would you say if you only had 30 seconds to convince me to buy from you.
Wow.
It makes you extraordinarily clear on that message. Hone you down. And then you're going to put that message everywhere. Here's the crazy thing about TV. You get your ad on TV within 10 miles or 15 miles or whatever it is around your business. You know what's going to happen? People are going to see it. You know what they're going to do? They're going to go right to your website. And they're going to then look at what else can I learn? And is this the right choice for me? So hone your message down, starting with the insights of your customers, the outcome that you promised, the proof, the because. Put it into a 30-second, write your script for your 30-second TV ad as if you were making one, and determine what would you say. And then the cool thing is, it's actually pretty cool. You can actually go to this digital portal now, and you can actually, put your information in, and you can actually see how you could actually deploy that thing.
Right.
So it's kind of a cool time in advertising where people who never could do it before can do it now, but you need to use the right framework and the right tools to get the right message to the right people in the right place. I'm telling you, if it was me and I had a business and I needed customers within 15 miles, I would try this.
Yeah.
And I would try a couple different ads and see which one starts to get people to go to the site and check it out or drive in or make the phone call or whatever. And then I would try another one. And then I'd try another one. I'd optimize my way to success. That's what I would do.
Wow. Well, you heard it here first, folks. TV is where brands like yours go to get big. Oh,
Nice.
We're Gerry, Cass. Thank you both so much for joining us this afternoon at the Spectrum Reach Live. And to our viewers, if you have any other marketing topics that you'd like to see us discuss on our next live, be sure to leave that in our comment section so you can see it. You never know, your topic may be next. Until next time, from all of us here at Spectrum Reach, we'll see you again. And remember, never stop reaching. Thank you. Bye-bye.